The hanger lights flicker against polished metal as a close-up of a blue butterfly tattoo fills the screen, its chest delicate, almost glowing, and in the center, tiny coordinates etched with surgical precision. Behind it, the low rumble of engines shakes the concrete floor while a cluster of Marines laugh too loudly, their voices sharp, mocking, careless. One flicks her wrist, another nudges her boot, and every joke lands harder than the last. But the girl they're mocking doesn't react. Mira Dalton stays crouched beneath the wing of a drone, hands steady, breath slow, as if she's mastered the art of disappearing while standing right in front of people. The teasing grows, echoing through the hangar, until heavy footsteps enter the frame. Commander Blake Rillan, stone-faced, disciplined, a man who doesn't waste expression, steps inside. The laughter dies instantly. His eyes sweep the room, but when they land on her tattoo, his entire body freezes, like a man seeing a ghost. The Marines go silent. Mira looks up, confused by his reaction. The camera pushes closer to the tattoo. The voiceover whispers, "They thought it was just a cute tattoo until the SEAL commander saw the coordinates hidden in its chest. And realized he'd met her before, on the day she should have died." The scene widens to reveal the massive military hangar alive with motion, chest-high tool cabinets rolling across the floor, sparks flashing from welding guns, the distant thump of helicopter rotors spinning up outside. Amid the chaos, Mira moves like a quiet current, unnoticed unless someone needs a problem solved. She's young but skilled, with the kind of calm that unnerves people who mistake silence for weakness. The Marines' teasing starts like all boredom-born mischief, soft jabs, harmless jokes, then sharper edges. They laugh at her butterfly, call it delicate, fragile, something someone gets after their first heartbreak. She tucks her wrist away without a word, withdrawing into the work she understands: wires, bolts, circuits, because machines never ask questions and never try to hurt you. What no one realizes is that this day is different. This day marks 7 years since the crash, 7 years since the storm. 7 years since the coordinates inked into that butterfly changed her life forever. And just as their laughter reaches its cruelest point, a presence enters the hangar that shifts the air itself. Commander Rillan walks in with a clipboard tucked under his arm, radiating authority in a way that silences even the worst troublemakers. He scans the room, senses something off, and his steps slow. When Mira rises to lift a toolbox, her sleeve slips just an inch, 1 inch of exposed ink. His eyes lock onto the coordinates, and something inside him stops cold. In that suspended moment, the past and present collide, and the truth behind the butterfly begins to surface. The teasing starts as a ripple, barely noticeable against the roar of engines warming in distant bays. One Marine flicks Mira's wrist with a careless smirk, another leans on a tool bench, throwing lazy insults as if she's entertainment for a slow afternoon. They call her delicate, soft, joke that her butterfly tattoo looks like something a teenager gets after a breakup. Mira doesn't lift her head. She keeps threading a wire harness through the drone's internal frame, her silence unsettling them more than any argument could. They push harder, circling like bored hyenas, but today, every word lands differently. Because today marks 7 years since the crash, the storm, the wreckage, the loss. The tattoo they mock isn't decoration, it's a memorial. Still, she stays quiet, fingers steady. They don't know that the coordinates in her skin mark the spot where her world ended and began again. But someone else does, and he's about to walk in. The hangar shifts the moment Commander Blake Rillan steps inside. His presence carries weight, sharp discipline, years of operations etched into every movement. Conversations flatten, tool clanks fade, and even the air seems to straighten up. He scans the room with the precision of a man trained to notice what others ignore. The Marines try to look busy, but their uneasy glances betray them. Mira stands to reposition a heavy toolbox, unaware that Rillan is watching her more closely than anyone else. As she lifts it, her sleeve slips, just enough for the butterfly tattoo to peek through. Rillan stops mid-step. His expression, usually carved from steel, softens, tightens, then freezes entirely. He moves closer, silent, the clipboard forgotten in his hand. The Marines exchange confused looks. They've never seen him react like this. His voice, when it comes, is low and roughened by something deeper than authority. "Where did you get that tattoo?" In that instant, the room no longer belongs to the Marines, it belongs to a memory. His question cuts deeper than any insult thrown her way, and Mira looks up, surprised by the intensity in his eyes. He gestures toward her wrist, almost afraid to touch it. Those coordinates, Do you know what they mark? She nods, steady. Yes, sir. The crash site. The Marine's confusion thickens into silence. Ryland's jaw tightens, his voice dropping to a whisper. Angel One's daughter. The air drains from the hangar. Angel One, legendary humanitarian pilot. A woman who flew through a Category 5 storm, ignoring every order to turn back. A woman who saved hundreds before giving her own life shielding her child. Mira's voice is soft, almost apologetic. She was my mother. Ryland stares at her like he's staring back through 7 years of storm-torn memories. The girl they mocked for being fragile had once survived a disaster that would have killed grown soldiers. The butterfly tattoo wasn't weakness. It was a battlefield marker. Ryland's eyes darken not with judgment, but with recognition. Memories he's buried for 7 years resurface in vivid detail, the icy wind slicing his face, debris scattered across the mountainside, the crumpled fuselage wedged between broken trees. He remembers pushing through wreckage, calling out, hoping for survivors. And then he saw it, a pilot's body wrapped protectively around a small girl, shielding her even in death. He remembers lifting that girl, Mira, her face cut, lash frozen, tiny hands gripping her mother's torn jacket. She hadn't cried, not once. He carried her miles through the storm, determined to honor the sacrifice he'd witnessed. Now, standing before her again, he whispers, I've wondered for years what happened to the child we pulled out. Mira breathes slowly, absorbing the weight of his words. The Marines watch in stunned silence as the two finally recognize each other, two survivors bound by the same storm, reunited in the calm after years of distance. When Ryland turns to face the Marines, the temperature in the room seems to drop. He points to Mira's wrist, voice steady but burning with restrained fire. You mocked that, a memorial carved from a hero's final breath. The Marines shrink under the weight of his disappointment. Their jokes, once harmless in their minds, now feel like blows struck against a fallen legend. One by one, they stumble forward to apologize, faces flushed with shame. Mira accepts each apology with quiet nods, not forgiving entirely, but refusing to carry bitterness. When they disperse, Ryland remains. He studies her with a calm, almost protective intensity. Your mother would be proud, he says softly. You've become exactly what she hoped you'd be. He offers her a place on his elite tech team, but she shakes her head. She belongs here among machines she can fix, in a world she's slowly rebuilding. And for the first time, everyone finally sees her the way she deserves. Not fragile, not quiet, but a survivor forged in the heart of a storm. A quiet calm settles over the hangar, the kind that comes only after a truth too heavy to ignore has been laid bare. Mira returns to her workstation, but something in the air around her has shifted subtly, decisively. No one looks at her with mockery anymore. They look with respect, with guilt, with a dawning understanding of the strength she carries in silence. The camera lingers on her wrist as she rolls her sleeve back down, the butterfly tattoo no longer something she hides. It glows softly under the hangar lights, a symbol not of fragility, but of survival written in ink and memory. Ryland watches her for a long moment, recognizing the quiet resilience he once carried out of a frozen mountainside in his arms. As she bends back over the drone, steady hands returning to work, a voiceover settles over the scene like a final breath. Some scars are worn on the skin, others in the soul. But the strongest people are those who survive storms meant to break them.